Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to today's episode on Dangerous African Confessions HD. Today we have the continuation of the story whereby Benjamin slept with his mother's dead body in order to make wealth. Like we always do, we've edited the names, locations to hide their identity. Without wasting much of your time, let's go and listen to the story. The next morning, I went to the market and bought all the items that was listed in the book. I was ready to enter into the world of money. I came home and made preparations for the directions as it is written in the book. I washed myself with only water and a perfume that was mixed with the water just as it was in the book. I finished and I sat in front of the candles and all the necessary things that were needed were also in front of me. With my leg crossed, I opened the book and read the part that I was supposed to read after getting the items. As soon as I was done, it was like the room was heavy, even though I didn't see anything or anyone. I could sense I wasn't alone in the room. After a few minutes into that, I heard a lady's voice from nowhere. The voice mentioned my name Benjamin. It continued that, "I know why you've called me." At this point, I was scared. The voice continued that, "Don't be scared. For I am only here to help you fulfill your heart desires." I responded by saying thank you after the voice said that. It continued that, "I will help you gain immense riches, but there is something you will also have to do in exchange for what your heart desires." I said, "Whatever it takes I am ready. All I care is to make money." She laughed and told me to go to bed and really think about what I want to do. And if I am certain that I truly want to make money, I should go through the same procedure to call on her. Just after she said that, I didn't hear anything again. And it was like, everything that was making the room so heavy was taken away. I couldn't sleep the whole of that night. The next morning, as I was walking down the street to go and hustle, I met an old lady. This old lady looked familiar. But I couldn't tell where I knew her. As I was about walking past her, she held my hand and mentioned my name, Benjamin. I was really confused. She asked me to follow her. She brought me to a place where there are less people. She then told me that life is just a matter of patience and believing in oneself that, at the right time, destiny will bring what one was destined to have. She asked me not to make any hasty decisions, which I might one day regret. As soon as she finished saying this, she let go of my hand and walked away. I stood there and watched her go till I couldn't see her no more. I was really confused. Was this woman trying to be a hindrance to my success or what? When I was back home, that night, I didn't do the rituals. I told myself if I get a sign that goes against what I was about doing, I won't go ahead with it. I gave myself 3 days. When after the third day came and I didn't see any sign, I went on with my directions that night. Please kindly subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload. Thank you and let's get back to the story. When after the third day came and I didn't see any sign, I went on with my directions that night. As soon as I was done reading the instructions and going through them one after the other, the woman's voice came again. She welcomed me and told me that I was bold, and that she was going to help me make money like I've never seen anyone with such in my life. She asked me to write the name of my mother. Before asking me to write the name of my mother, she told me about the treatment my father's people took us through. And told me the reason why I want to be rich at all cost. To help my mother and pay them back. Which was true, so, after writing my mother's name, she told me to sacrifice a fowl the next onto the paper that I have the name on and bury the paper. She asked me to buy 5 eggs, empty 2 of the eggs and make sure I create cracks on the shell on one of the remaining 3. But I should do it in such a way that the egg will still be inside. She told me to buy a bag and put the eggs in it. Wait for 7 days after the sacrifice and see the turning point of my life. I didn't understand what I was doing. I never knew I was killing my own mother for money. So, early in the morning I did the sacrifice and buried the fowl and the paper just as I was ordered. I went and bought the bag and did just as I was told to. After the 7 days, I went to where the bag is, and to my surprise, the bag that contained only the eggs was filled with money. At this point I knew I was on the road of riches. I was extremely happy. I couldn't sleep the whole night. I was thinking of how to make my mother proud and how my siblings were finally going to have a better life. In about 3 days' time, I had a dream and, in the dream, my elder brother was telling me to come back home because our mother was not feeling well. So, when I woke up, I prepared and set off to my hometown to go and show my family the good news. I got to my hometown in the afternoon. To my surprise, my mother was indeed not well, just as I saw in my dream. I asked my elder brother to let's take her to the hospital. He said he had taken her to the hospital earlier. But because they didn't have money, they had to bring her home to try some traditional medicine. I told him not to worry. I went out to get a cab and we took her. On our way to the hospital, she died in our arms. This was the most difficult moment in my life. The reason why I went through all these things to make money in order for her to enjoy life. And now that the money is coming, she is no more. So, we had to return her home for our family people to do some traditions and rituals for her. This ritual is always done for anybody that dies in our town. So, when I was alone sitting quietly under a tree, at the back of our house, there was this heavy wind that blew. And after the wind, I heard the lady's voice saying that, "Congratulations. You have accomplished your second task. Now it is left with the last one." I told her, why the need to go through with the last one, since the main reason why I came to her for money is dead. She told me that the name that I wrote on the paper and what I buried is the cause of my mother's death. She went on to tell me that I will have to cement my money and ritual by sleeping with my mother's dead body. I told her that was abominable and I can't continue with it. I told her point blank that she had lied and lured me into killing my mother and now wants me to sleep with her dead body. She laughed and told me not blame anybody but myself. For she told me to think about what I wanted to do carefully before embarking on the journey. So, whatever is coming out of my decision is solely my responsibility. She said that I only have up to 48 hours to make that last sacrifice or else my siblings will start dying one after the other. She said, the eggs in the bag which was containing the money represent my siblings. And the one with the crack on the shell is me. She warned me never to mention anything to anyone. Right after saying this, I didn't hear the voice again. I started remembering the words of that old man in the park and that of the old woman I met at the market. With tears in my eyes, I stood up and I headed to the house. I went to the room where my mother's body was lying down. Looked at her and knowing I was responsible for her death, broke me the more. I had already done it. So, I needed to finish it and not bring my 2 remaining family members into any of this problem. So, I sneaked in the room and had sex with my mother's dead body. This was the most painful thing for me, but I had no choice. My desperation for money had landed me into such deep mess. After my mother's funeral, I didn't feel right. It was I was alone in this world. I couldn't bear the thought of killing my own mother and sleeping with her dead body because of money. Please, if you find this diary, don't judge me, know that I will never willingly hurt anyone in my life. Greed and an insatiable appetite for money is what has brought me here. Kindly share this with people so they will also know how to go about their life when pursuing money. Now what my brother did was that, I guess the burden was too much for him, so he called our sister and handed to her the diary and told her she is going to town, she should read the diary before he returns. Knowing very well, something bad will happen to him. Because if you read the diary, you will know that the woman asked him never to let anyone know about his deeds. So, choosing to go down this route means he was prepared for any outcome. Please, I'm sharing this, because he said it in his diary to do so. Thank you and I hope someone benefits from this. In our quest to make money, please let's be mindful of the choices that we make. Because it can either make or unmake you in a long run. Remember, life is not a race, where we all must fight to make it to the finish line in time. Our destinies are different, so choose how you live your life wisely. Thanks for being a part of this growing family. Kindly share your thought with us in the comment section below. And if you are new here, please subscribe, like and share. Stay blessed and be safe.